In the spring of 2020, as the world stood on the brink of an unprecedented crisis, KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, the world's oldest airline still operating under its original name, shocked the aviation industry when it officially retired its last Boeing 747. For many aviation enthusiasts, this marked the end of a glorious era. But with such a long and storied history between KLM and the Queen of the Skies, why did the airline choose to retire the aircraft? And why did it come as such a shock? Let's find out. In the history of aviation, few machines have stirred as much emotion as the Boeing 747. Affectionately known as the Queen of the Skies, this massive four-engine aircraft was never just a mode of transportation. It was a symbol of human progress, a gateway to adventure, and a shining icon of commercial aviation's golden age. For aviation enthusiasts and millions of travelers around the world, the Queen of the Skies embodied luxury, power, and the ability to reach distant horizons. So when KLM, one of the world's oldest airlines and one of the 747's most loyal operators, decided to retire its legendary fleet 5 years ago, it wasn't just another business decision. It was a bittersweet farewell to an era that had defined modern flight. Before 2020, the global aviation industry was thriving. Airports were bustling, international routes were expanding, and wide-body aircraft like the 747 remained the backbone of many long-haul operations. KLM, with its rich heritage and worldwide network, proudly operated a fleet of 747-400s, including the unique Combi variant, which allowed for a flexible mix of passengers and cargo. These aircraft had served the Dutch carrier for nearly half a century, transporting millions of people to distant corners of the globe and back. They weren't just airplanes, they were part of KLM's identity. Seeing the iconic hump of the 747 parked at the airport gates was a familiar and reassuring sight. Yet headwinds were beginning to gather. Aircraft manufacturers had introduced a new generation of twin-engine wide-bodies like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and Airbus A350 planes that promised drastically lower fuel consumption, reduced maintenance costs, and ranges that matched or even exceeded their four-engine predecessors. The economics of flying were shifting, and airlines were under growing pressure to rethink their aging fleets. Many had already mapped out long-term retirement plans for their 747s, envisioning a slow and dignified phase-out of the beloved giants. Then came COVID-19, not merely a disruption, but a seismic global event that shook the very foundation of air travel. Within weeks, once crowded skies became eerily empty. Travel bans, lockdowns, and widespread fear drove air travel demand to historic lows. Airlines were suddenly staring down a grim new reality. Hundreds of aircraft, once high-value assets, had instantly become enormous financial liabilities. At Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport, KLM's home base, the scene was surreal. More than 200 aircraft, including KLM's majestic 747s, sat idle at gates, on taxiways, even along runways, forming a temporary graveyard of aviation. Each grounded jet was a stark reminder of lost revenue, ongoing maintenance costs, and an uncertain future. An internal report from early April 2020 revealed that the Air France KLM group was hemorrhaging €25 million per day. It shows that a painful, decisive action was now unavoidable. Hold on, still with us? It's about to get even more surprising. But before continuing, don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe. Thanks a ton. Therefore, by the end of March 2020, just weeks after the pandemic began sweeping through major global markets, KLM made a harsh but necessary decision: to retire its entire Boeing 747 fleet permanently. The move wasn't entirely unexpected. KLM had originally planned to phase out its jumbo jet around 2021, coinciding with the aircraft's 50th anniversary in the airline's service. However, the pandemic accelerated that timeline by nearly a year. The final passenger flight of a KLM 747-400, tail number PHBFT, a Combi variant, quietly marked the end of an era. There were no grand ceremonies, no water cannons, no send-offs fit for a legend, just a quiet farewell, befitting the somber tone of the pandemic. And yet the story of KLM's 747 retirement took an unexpected turn. While passenger demand had plummeted, another demand had surged: cargo, especially the urgent transport of medical supplies. The 747's immense cargo carrying capacity, particularly the versatile Combi versions operated by KLM, suddenly became indispensable. Mere moments after their retirement was announced, these aircraft were temporarily brought back into service. It was a move driven by necessity and backed by the Dutch government. With the world in desperate need of masks, PPE, and critical healthcare equipment, the Queen's capabilities became a strategic asset. This carrier reactivated 3 aircraft, transforming them into giant airborne lifelines, flying to where help was needed most and returning with life-saving supplies. It was a powerful image, a plane once synonymous with luxury travel, now serving a higher, nobler purpose. But even that noble mission could not last forever. By mid-2020, as global supply chains began to recover and the need for dedicated medical cargo flights waned, the rationale for keeping these jumbo jets in the air also faded. As a result, on October, the airline formally announced that not only had the 747's passenger era ended, but its final role, supporting the Dutch government in transporting medical supplies, was now complete. The final flight, operated by PHBFV, departed from Shanghai Pudong International Airport and touched down at Schiphol, marking the true and permanent farewell between KLM and the Queen of the Skies. It was a somber moment, a poignant full stop on a long and storied chapter in aviation history. KLM's decision was not an isolated case. It was part of a sweeping, industry-wide farewell to the Boeing 747. The COVID-19 pandemic didn't just accelerate KLM's retirement plans, it forced many other carriers to make similarly difficult choices. Qantas, Australia's flag carrier, also bid an early goodbye to its jumbo jet fleet after more than half a century of service. For Qantas, the 747 wasn't merely an aircraft, it was a national icon, a bridge connecting Australia to the rest of the world. Saying farewell was a painful but necessary step to preserve the airline's financial health amid an unprecedented crisis. Closer to KLM's home, British Airways also retired its Queen of the Skies fleet. This decision carried particular emotional weight for BA, which had long been one of the world's largest 747 operators. Just a year before the pandemic struck, the airline had even repainted several of its huge aircraft in iconic retro liveries to celebrate its centenary. Tragically, those nostalgic paint schemes saw little time in scheduled passenger service before the aircraft were grounded for good as part of sweeping cost-cutting measures. For many Britons, the sight of a BA 747 at Heathrow was a familiar emblem of vacations, business trips, and homecomings. Their sudden disappearance was a sobering reminder of the pandemic's reach and devastation. Yet, in this somber landscape, there was one notable exception: Lufthansa. Unlike the 3 airlines above, Lufthansa's recent journey with the 747 has taken a different path. Though the German carrier had also planned to retire the type in an effort to reduce costs, it found itself facing substantial delivery delays of next-generation aircraft. Rather than suffer a capacity shortfall on high-demand long-haul routes, Lufthansa brought its jumbo jets back into regular service. Even today, the Queen of the Skies continues to fly proudly in Lufthansa colors, serving some of the airline's most important intercontinental routes. It's a testament to the 747's enduring flexibility, resilience, and relevance, even in a rapidly changing aviation world. Ultimately, KLM's decision to move forward without the 747 was not just prudent, it was essential. The airline had taken a heavy financial hit at the start of the decade, and retiring the iconic jumbo was as much a cost-cutting measure as it was a bold step toward fleet modernization. Since bidding farewell to the jumbo jet, the carrier has undergone a significant transformation, embracing a new generation of efficient, twin-engine wide-body jets. The backbone of this shift is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, with both the Dash 9 and Dash 10 variants now playing a central role in the airline's long-haul operations. These aircraft offer not only greater fuel efficiency and reduced operating costs compared to the aging 4-engine jumbos, but also a superior onboard experience. Quieter, smoother, and equipped with modern cabin features, they meet the expectations of today's travelers while significantly lowering carbon emissions. Fleet renewal remains a top priority for KLM. The Air France KLM Group has confirmed that the cutting-edge Airbus A350, a next-generation twin-engine widebody, will soon join the Dutch carrier's lineup as well. This addition will further strengthen the airline's long-haul capabilities, helping the airline expand its global reach and remain a competitive force in an industry that's rapidly evolving. In letting go of one legend, KLM has made room for a future shaped by sustainability, efficiency, and innovation. The departure of the Boeing 747 from KLM's fleet is a powerful reminder of the ever-changing nature of our world. It marks not just the end of an aircraft type, but the end of an era. For many, the 747 was more than a machine. It was the vessel of first journeys abroad, family reunions, and dreams of soaring through the skies. The unmistakable roar of its four engines, its majestic silhouette on the runway, and the thrill of sitting on the legendary upper deck, these are memories etched deeply into the hearts of aviation lovers. While newer aircraft offer greater efficiency and modern comforts, they cannot easily replace the special place the Queen holds in the hearts of those who grew up watching it fly. This was the plane that changed the world, transforming air travel from a luxury for the few into a possibility for millions. When KLM's final 747s lifted off for the last time, they didn't just carry cargo, they carried history, dreams, and the cherished memories of an age when the Queen of the Skies ruled supreme. This farewell is a sad one, but it is also a tribute to a great icon, to a marvel of engineering that left an indelible mark on the sky, and on all of us who ever looked up in awe as she flew overhead. Share your favorite memory of the Boeing 747 with all of us. Thank you, and stay safe.